like, nope, I take my boat out on the water and I eat bagels for breakfast.
Yeah, not bad. Thank God.
Sean, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Chris, are you recording already?
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, oh. Let's get started then. Yeah.
I'm being recorded.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
our
wait,
intro.
I messed up.
That's our intro.
You messed up on recording.
No, that's okay. All right, now we're here. All right.
Oh God, that's our intro. That's it. That's all you need to know. Jeff's here. Hi, Jeff.
What's up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which gatherings are your favorite to go to?
My favorite
Dude.
one so far is definitely Tricktoberfest. That
Yeah.
one, specifically the second one, that one was so much fun.
Why?
I think just because everyone was together. Like most of the people were staying at Ashley's mansion, and yeah, everyone just like kind of found their group, and like everyone was just like hanging out in the hotel, or not in the hotel, in the house together, and like we had like breakfast and everything, and yeah, we would just like goof around in the back, like in the pool and all that kind of
Yeah.
things.
It was just like a lot more chill the whole time around, and then when it was time to trick, it was time to trick.
Right.
But yeah, like a lot less people being separate. That's why I like trick different also, because there is just that one spring floor, which a lot of people dislike, but I like that aspect of it.
Hold on, someone's knocking on my door.
I'm just like enamored watching these combos, and I'm just like, what?
Dude, they're crazy. Like a lot of these are just like triple cork enders for swing chains. Like he just does it so casually, and they look the exact same as the doubles because he lands the same regardless. And the flip twist ratio is amazing.
I know.
Was that Brody?
Actually,
No, it was my dad.
Oh, what did your dad have to say?
Well, he's like tearing up the floor right now, so
Oh.
probably needs help
that sounds like
later.
fun.
Okay, well, do you still have time?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, we were just talking about your flip twist ratio for your triple cork. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I've played with that a lot actually. It's triple cork is super difficult for me for some reason.
Yeah, Sean, that
And-
was 3-2. Yes.
Yeah, I know. It was so easy. It was so casual.
I think that was
looked like it was hard.
That was probably my favorite moment ever. Like that was just like I was just coming back from the groin injury, and like that was my first gathering since. And I remember Joe just like hyping me up. Like I'd failed it like 3 times, and I was kind of getting tired. And he's like, dude, this is your time. This is your fucking session. Like, okay. And I hit it within the next like 2 tries. And just like I had like when I was warming up for that combo, like I had like 3 people walk up to me and they're like, dude, you have this like fire in your eyes like I've never seen before. And I was just like so zoned in, and I was like, really?
Really? You're like, first of all, cringe, but second of all, okay.
It's like, okay, shit, we're gonna land this now.
Dude, sometimes all it takes is just someone to fucking believe in you.
Right.
You're like, why am I doing this? And someone's like, you're doing great. You're like, I am? Okay.
What do you mean?
Me and McCoy just like locked brains that gathering, and we were just fucking one after another. We were just throwing down. It was so fun.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I'm so like, and that's the thing. Like, the groin injury is obviously super annoying, but at the same time, like, it just makes you appreciate every session so much more too.
Yeah, it's definitely it makes me kind of like take it back a little bit and just like work other tricks too, which is nice. Just to, like, you know, develop my style a little more, and like not be so focused on cranking the hardest tricks possible whenever I have a chance. So yeah, it's definitely, even though I've hurt my groin a few times, it teaches you how to train smarter for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and like you said, you're just taking sideswipe out completely, you know, so you're just done with it. And something else I wanted to ask too, shit, what I just was, I think. Oh yeah, speaking of cranking tricks, what do you have planned for your next sample, or what were some of the big tricks that you were hoping to hit?
Hey, if
Uh,
you enjoy our content and you want to show some support, make sure you follow us on Spotify and Instagram. Our Instagram tag is the_flip_side_podcast. Just make sure to go on there. Just shout out like old episodes that you liked, anything about the new episodes. You can comment on any of them. We would really appreciate it. And if you do end up wanting to go a step further, just become a supporter. All you have to do is follow the link in the description in any of our episodes that we've published. And you can also go under the About section in our Spotify homepage.
You can do as little as 99 cents a month. Any amount that you guys support us is going to help us build a better podcast and help build better trickers around the world. So you were hoping to hit.
well, this
Wow.
sampler, I knew that I wanted to post at the end of the year just to give me enough time to like land as many tricks as possible. I was really hoping to put Snatch in there. I wanted to put Trip, but I wasn't able to pull those. Definitely in my next samp, I want Snatch and Trip. Those are the two that I'm really moving for.
Nice.
So,
Okay. And then
Yeah.
what about other like intricacies? Like I see you're working mega a lot more.
Mhm.
Semi is in there, but it seems like mega is kind of like the one you're leaning on right now.
Yeah, I really like Mega. That one's super fun. It's like that one used to be really hard on my groin, but then I changed up the tech a little bit, so it's not so like strenuous on it. Um, yeah, I definitely like doing Mega Miss Legs. That's kind of like my thing right now. That's what I'm really focusing on. Um, yeah, otherwise I'm really just doing like a lot of swings and like right now I'm in like a tech stage, so I'm really just breaking down the tricks as much as I can and focusing on like, am I eagling? Am I swinging my arms? Is my foot facing the right direction? Kind of thing. So
Gotcha. So just tech-based things. That's awesome. And then yeah, like that the aerial folds like all the thing that I noticed in here is like when you're doing the G switches, the reason they're so good and like all the swing chains and like any transition from move to move, you're not excessively high or excessively low ever. Like it's
no.
just very consistent. Like you're like, I have like, a quarter of an inch to like between my foot and the floor, and that's exactly what I want. Like you're like placing heel toe exactly the way you want to, and like everything's transitioning properly. You don't have any excess energy. It's just flowing. You have so much control over all those movements. It's really, really nice.
thank you. Yeah, I think that's just something like kind of like what you said at the beginning. Like I have to do it perfectly, otherwise I won't land. Cause like every time, like I'll still maybe like hit my feet, and 75% of the time I'll hit feet first, and then I'll touch my hand for whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah, it's just like it has to be so perfect. And so like I think because of that, I've had to like just focus on my tech so much more. And then I think
You
that
think
really
that has to do with your height, or do you think it has to do with like the speed and power that you're putting behind the trick, so that when you or is it like is it you being like too cautious and like not confident that you're gonna land that trick, so you just kind of hang on, and then if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you're like, well, I knew that.
it honestly depends on the situation. I've had a few situations where I'm like, in the middle of a G switch and it's like the worst one ever. Like I definitely have bad tricks, and then like I'll still rip the trip. You're like, we're gonna get it, and
Yeah.
then why did that happen? But
Oh
like,
my gosh, I've had some bad ones where I'm in the middle of a triple cork. I'm like, this is the worst triple cork of my life. Why am I hanging on? And then I land. And I'm like, I don't know why that happened. Yeah, it just sometimes that happens. And then sometimes I'm like, this is the best one ever. And those are the ones where I like land with my right leg crossed over my left and like I'm not quite there and incomplete.
yeah, literally, I'm
You
like,
just can't tell sometimes. And maybe, this is what ends up happening, I think, is that you're in the bad one and you're like, I can't do anything. So you just squeeze tighter and then you make it versus the other one where you're like, this one's so perfect. So then you're like half-assing it because you're like, I'm fucking perfect.
that's so true. I definitely found myself getting too comfortable in the middle of tricks. Like my flow will be so good, and I'll just be riding that thing, and then I'll like hit feet first, and that's the times that I touch my hand. I'm like,
Yeah.
now I gotta do it again. What the
Like, damn
That is exactly it. That makes me so frustrated. That's the most frustrating thing I think about tricking ever. Like now that I'm like kind of transitioning into the MMA thing, it's like you make a mistake, you fix it. But in tricking, you make a mistake, all this work down the drain. Like you get nothing for it.
right, and now you got 5 minutes of session left, and you're like you need to put on like a ventilator because you can't fucking breathe. Or it's like,
Yeah.
You're like, what else did I mess up on?
It says
I
the
need some
man.
oxygen
It says
in
the
here.
man from fucking sea level. Okay.
Yeah, it was about.
Oh, that's
Surrounded by the
awesome.
Great Lakes.
What's that?
I'm surrounded by the Great Lakes, and I'm like, where's the oxygen?
Yeah, exactly. You're fucking sea level, dude. You know, and there's oxygen everywhere. You can chew on it. I've been there.
Nom, nom, nom.
I wish.
It's really funny, like how much I've adjusted to this air. Because when I came back, I was like, that's so much better. Like, I don't know. Like, I like this level so much more. And even when I traveled, I don't know if it had to do with like the time change or just like the mismatch of the schedule, but I felt like more tired there. Like, I didn't even feel like I had more endurance. Maybe it was because we were eating like savages, but
Probably.
probably that.
Don't even want to go into that. We're just
That's awesome.
leave it at
Okay.
that.
So yeah, so like you want to talk about like training regimen stuff? Is there anything that you want to share that's like you think is unique to what you do? That is because like something that's pretty strange, I think, that a lot of people question is the fact that you and me have both like we both touched on snatch cannon. We both land triple core combos, dub combos, dub variants. Like we both have like extreme like the highest level of tricks. We both touched on both like on both of them, but we're brothers. So like genetically, why the fuck did that happen? We're also like is it a tech thing because we train together and figure out the tech together? Is it like our drive? Is there something different in the mental? Is it like where we grew up? Definitely not. Like, what is it? Like, what the fuck? Why is it like this? Like, how did we both become like, high level athletes? It doesn't make sense.
I think yes. I'm just gonna say yes to all of those because I think it is all of them. Like when you break it down, like we tricked with each other for years, like more than 5 for sure. And like I think that I adopted a lot of your style, and I think you just because like we live in Wisconsin and there's not a whole lot of trickers here, I think you developed such a unique style that separates you from other people. And then I think I adopted some of that too. And then I think because once you moved out and I was like introduced to tricking from social media like Instagram and stuff so early, I think I got more exposure to it at a younger age than you did. And I think
Yeah.
that definitely took us.
I didn't ask why you were better than me. I asked why we were both
Oh, no, he's better than you because he had the B-boy stage.
Yeah.
That's why he's better than you.
Oh, it's that extra
gotta-
exposure to the alternate movement sports. I got it.
Oh man.
Guys, I learned how to head spin 360. Okay, I'm top tier.
Okay, I need to see that. Can you make a tricking combo with a head spin, please?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you could fall and then you'd be like, oh no, I touched my head. No, I was going into a head spin. Oh,
yes.
See?
I'm surprised Shosei and Zen haven't done that. Like their head is like an inch off the ground, and
Dude, for
like,
real.
it's right there. Just do it, please.
Just do it. It's so awesome. Oh, but yeah, to like finish your explanation there, Jeff. So like, I mean, if I'm gonna answer the question, I would say like we both have like some different level of like urgency and discipline about it because like we both understand that like life is finite and we want to like attack it, and we both grew up like kind of on anime, which like is obviously going to give you that hero complex, and then just like there's nothing else to fucking do in Wisconsin. So but then like at the same time we have like very different bodies. You and I have very different bodies, and like I don't think that athleticism runs in the family. If you ask me. So
I think a huge part of my training is like definitely that I had a rival like when I started out early, and I think that's a huge part of what made me progress so much. Like I fixated myself on like a singular person, and I was like, I have to get better than this person. But they were like clearly leagues above me, but not so much where it wasn't impossible. And so, I just started to train as hard as I could to get to them. And I think that's just a huge part of like development of my style for one. And I think that's just a huge reason why, I trick as much as I do and a huge part of my motivation as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good point because if you're doing it alone, like you find these people who trick alone who don't really have a community and they just end up being like pretty average, or like what we kind of talked about before, where people are almost like egregious to you when you show up to the gym. They like don't really want you there, or they feel like you're stepping on their toes because they're like, why are you so good? And like, why can't you just, or like, I've even had people say it to me, they're like, can you just like relax that session? Like, why do you need to go so fucking hard? Like, we're just here to hang out and chill. And I'm like,
Right.
This is me
like
chilling.
yeah, like I am chilling. What are you talking about? No,
Yeah.
but like for real though, like I think that people get comfortable and that's what happens, and they're just okay with doing that, and we're just not. Like, because we thrive in a like a learning state. Like we want to be learning and progressing and have those goals set. And like I think also if you look at the world in like a too big of a picture, you can look at tricking and you can be like, oh, it doesn't matter at all. And then you can like look at you trying to progress in tricking and be like, oh, why do I want to get to this trick? Or why do I want to land this? It's like, what, for this like feeling of accomplishment, for like 1 second of video that I can put out that nobody's gonna really see? Like, what is the
Yes.
point of all this? Like, it just doesn't add up. And like you get it so much from like, you know, muggles, you know, who are like watch the video and they're like, wait, so you get paid for this? Like, you do what? And you're like, no, I just do it for fun. They're like, you do Olympic level tricks and injure your body and put this many hours into it and change your diet and do travel and waste your money doing all this stuff for this? Like, you don't get paid. And you're like, yeah, because it's fun. Like,
Yeah.
but I think that like a huge part of it, like you're saying, is like having that rival. I think what's very cool about that is it's almost like you're putting all of that to the side and going like, you know, I know all of that exists. I know it doesn't matter. I know people think it's weird. I know it is honestly like a waste of time, like you might say, like quote unquote, like a waste of time. Like, what are you really getting out of this? But like the experience that you get and like the lessons you learn from it are just priceless. And then on top of that, like creating that rival mentality, that is like, you know, that journey that you really do want. And you look at it and you say like, you're almost like lying to yourself in a positive light. You're like, this is all that matters, when like clearly it's not. But like
Yeah.
but you know the benefit out of that you get out of it. Like you put a lot more weight on it than is actually true. And I think that that's really important to getting better. At least for me, like I was very aware that it did not matter at all if I landed triple cork or even snatch cannon or anything. But I was like, I will die for this. If I do not land, like I was literally in snatch cannon and I was like, I could die right now. I could tear both my ACLs. I could break my back and be paralyzed for the rest of my life. And I am fully prepared for that. Like
Yeah.
I was, and I, you know, it's just like, and I did it fucking 4 times. Like, what does that tell you? You know, it's like, and I know that you're the exact same way, but it's like, to me, it was like, I was lying to myself and telling myself that that's what mattered, when like it really doesn't matter that much. But like, if you really do want to get that good, then it does matter that much. Like, you just have to, you almost have to create this outside weight. Like you have to create a weight that's external to like actually bring the internal weight out, because like the internal weight, nobody truly understands it. Like you can't really express
Right.
that. So like, but you really are like being true to your soul. And I think that's what like people don't understand.
I will say that as much as it is good to have a rival, I think that a lot of my tricking has definitely moved from trying to be better than other people, and I think it's definitely moved inward where I'm just trying to be better than myself,
Yeah.
because like you can only focus on so much. Like I just like noticed that I was doing tricks that I didn't want to do because they did it. And I'm like, all right, well that's now fun. So like, you know, I'm getting better at these skills that clearly my body and my skill level isn't ready for. So why would I, you know, I just end up wasting my time and like the session isn't as fun. And so now I just go with the intent to make myself better. And that can also make you progress in different ways than having a rival would. So I think it's good to have a balance, and just from talking to other people, I think it is better to be self-motivated if you can. But I think that a lot of people run into motivation issues where they're like, "Well, I'm not motivated." But I'm like, I think you need to then stop looking so inward, and I think you need to be a little more aware of other people then. You know, I think there's just a balance, and I think, you know, it's just important for people to figure out where they want the scale to be.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try to say what you're saying very well. Just that, like, you can have, like, people say, I really like solo sessions for this. I really like group sessions for this. But, like, they don't really go deeper than that. But I think you said it really well. Like, you do the solo sessions because you're trying to get better than yourself. And then you do
Mhm.
group sessions because you're trying to, beat other people or kind of gauge where you are at and kind of get that I guess reassurance from the other people that you are progressing versus like being alone and looking at it in a different light. I think that's exactly right.
Definitely. And like no one has the exact same skill set. So there shouldn't really be a point to like do the exact same tricks as someone else. Everyone has their own set of tricks that they're good at, and there's no reason to like um copy them. It's like, why would you copy them when you can be doing this that they can't do? You're one upping each other, but in a much more unique fashion. And I
Yeah,
think it's important for people to really dial in on that and do what they're good at, because everyone will have a much better time if that
I think you're
happens.
right. And I think that there's like a very small percentage of trickers who, after the Shosei era, or like even like during it right now, like I feel like it's kind of dying out now because people either like the Shosei thing happened and people are like, who is this guy? Now I can't be the best anymore. And
Right.
then they basically went like, oh, well, now I just get to hang out because I clearly can't reach that level. So they just kind of gave up. But then there's the other people who said, okay, well, this is my niche and this is what I'm going to lean into. And then there's other people who are like, I just want to progress for myself. And like, I feel like there was a lot of enlightening going on
Mhm.
inside the tricking community of like, there was very few people who decided to keep going and said like, that doesn't matter how good he is. I'm going to progress for myself. And then a very large majority of people fell off. And I think that it's what's creating this kind of environment that we kind of talked about in the beginning there of like, they're very defensive of their position. I think a lot of people are. They become egotistical and defensive of everything that they've created and all the good that they've done. And I'm not like trying to take that away. I'm just saying that you don't need to defend it. You can still keep doing that. Like just because there's someone like Shosei out there and there's those few people that are competing with him, that doesn't take away from what you've done. And it doesn't take away from what you still do. And I think people just need to see that. There's like a bigger picture inside that.
Yeah, I think as long as people are enjoying themselves when they trick, I think that's all that matters.
Right.
But I don't think you should use the excuse of someone else being, one of the elite to
Yeah.
be an excuse for you not to better yourself. And I
Right.
think that's
You're
where
right.
that
Because
interpersonal side comes into play.
yeah, because there is totally that thing where people want to go to the session to honestly see friends and to honestly just do a few tricks here and there. And like it's their once a month or once a week thing that they go just to do. And they're not really trying to progress, just maintain. And they enjoy the struggle of that, like, I just want this combo or like these three combos, or I'm going to learn one new move this month or like whatever it is. But then, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, what you got to be careful of is like, being that person who's like, I wish I could be progressing, but I feel no need to. And so they have this rain cloud like over their mind saying that like it doesn't matter what they do. So they stop doing it, but they really did enjoy the struggle of improving. And
Yeah.
like don't lose the struggle of improving just because Shosei came around.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because like when Shosei showed up, I mean, everything got flipped on its head.
It really did. I mean,
Oh,
I had a crisis. I for sure had a crisis.
yeah, because like he was what, 14, 15?
I mean,
Yeah.
when he landed his first triple cork at 12, didn't he? When it was like when triple cork was still like the hardest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah. He's actually just insane. Like he's hard to compare to. And yet still, even at Hooked, there's still people that people can actually see and be like, yeah, they're starting to approach that level.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's still crazy to even think about. Because like when Shosei showed up, everybody was like, there's no fucking way anybody's gonna get on that level. Like he's just a whole different tier. And those people are starting to actually get on that tier. Like
Yeah,
crazy to think about.
it is pretty crazy.
And Jeff, you gotta go to Hooked this next
Yes,
year.
you do. You do.
I'm actually working on buying a passport right now. So
Dude,
I'm
nice.
definitely going this year.
Yeah, let's talk after this. I'd love to go with you. I really want to go to like for the Europe experience and also for the hooked experience and the whole deal. Like I would take like a good chunk of time off to be down in that area.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh,
Sweet. All right.
If you were gonna, well, I still have some couple words.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, Sean, what else you got?
God, oh my words, that was hard. If you could be booked this year, how do you think you would have done?
I actually looked at it was nice that they came out with like a bracket, like a top 16 bracket.
Yeah.
And some of those names I didn't recognize, probably because it's like, a global competition. So there were a lot of Chinese trickers and other Japanese trickers that I didn't.
Yeah, they get like no
recognize.
exposure. I don't know what's with that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that if I was at Hooked, I think I could have made top 16. I think I could have squeezed in there. But I think that next year, I think the competition will be even higher because I did realize that there were a lot of people, really top level trickers that weren't there this year. And so with those people, if they come, I think that it'll be harder to make top 16, but I think by December I could squeeze in there. I'm hoping.
That'll be interesting. I would really see you squeezing in the top 16, especially in this last turn. I was like, all right, like I see this, and I'm like, all right. I mean, the first person that I usually like put you next to is kind of like Levi and Andrew. So like especially recognizable, and I'm like, okay, like I see him kind of tricking like this, and then I saw Ethan Turner on there, and I was like, yeah, I can kind of see Jeff up there with those names. Like, I think it needs to happen.
It's creeping in. I'm definitely ever since like Vertigo, from top 16, like I've definitely trained way harder since then. Like I was not tricking every day before Vertigo, and now I am. Like I've just like cleaned up my diet a lot, and like I'm focusing way more on sessioning, and like, now I'm tricking over 10 times a week, and lifting 2 or 3 times a week. So like definitely my training is like upped a lot, and like I do have to get better at battling though. I'm dog shit at battling. Like I get way too nervous, and then I like fall on a cheat 9. I'm like, well, there we go.
That's me. That's also me.
Well, it looks like you two have something else in common.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Jeff, we have a video in the works. It's Chris versus Jeff kind of comparison video. It's showing like I pulled a bunch of clips from your Instagram, pulled a bunch of clips from my Instagram, and we compare tricks. And it's really interesting how similar our tricking style is.
It's wild.
It really is.
It is.
Even though we have very different. I mean, how tall are you? You got like 3 or 4 inches on me.
Yeah, I'm 5'9".
Yeah, damn, I'm only 5'5" on a good day. 5'4" usually.
I was about to say, Chris, we are short.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I'm still bigger than Jeff.
I think if I was any taller, it would be a disadvantage. But I think I'm like at that perfect medium.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like,
don't forget to follow us on the_flip_side_podcast on Instagram.
And CHRISPY_TRIX. That's chrispy-trix on Instagram. And I also have another YouTube channel, TrixFix, TRIX space FIX, for more tutorials and other things.
And we'll see you guys next time.